in New York right now, but the spring is coming. So the poem is Bloom. I'm going to read it in English. Bloom, 开花 in Chinese, that is 开花. If you are going to bloom, then bloom to my rhythm. Close your eyes for 1 second, breathe for 2, be silent for 3, then bloom. To bloom is liberation, to bloom is revolution. The universe did not begin with a bun, but a bloom. If you are happy, then bloom at dawn, bloom a blossom hiding vines. If you are depressed, then bloom in the evening because sunset promotes relaxation and absent-mindedness. Or in your depression, bloom laughter to keep from crying. And in frustration and fear and timidity, bloom wasting not and wanting not. Bloom to counteract residue fear, just release your fantasies of your other you. And if you've already bloomed, in fact, more than one blossom, then retreat to pre-ripeness and bloom again to my rhythm. My rhythm is the rhythm of dripping water, because water droplet hitting water droplet is the source of the river. To put it more extravagantly, the deep blue sea comes from water droplet hitting water droplet. You must believe the sea has a blue heart. Oh, such a great flower. What a grand flower. So I order you to bloom. This is request you to bloom. I humbly implore you. If you make me kneel, I kneel, even if you were foxtail Bristol grass. Bloom a pear blossom in case the nape of your neck is cold. Bloom a peach blossom in case your back is itchy from the warmth of the sun. But in case you're still reluctant, in case you're still trying to decide whether to bloom or not to bloom, then listen to me. Listen to me. First, stretch out 1 petal. Then stretch out 2 petals, then 4 petals. 3 petals and 5 petals are the geometry of nature. But if you want to, you can stretch out 50 petals. 500,000 petals is called flourishing. The earthworms are waiting. Even the flies are getting greener to match the earth's imagination. Even the town-deaf swallows are singing. This puts kings and marquises and generals, ministers in a better mood. Once they are in the better mood, they care more about the lives of little people. They might even admit that they themselves are little people. But I want you to bloom. That is, when you're in a rotten mood, I still want you to keep in mind that little people are people, they are natural, they are the Tao. Bloom, unleash a deep underground spring with your rhizome. When you and your neighbor are having some trouble, when you and your aunt and uncle pound the table and stare each other down and you don't know who can help, bloom and change your way of living. Brothers 1 and 3, brothers 2 and 3 and 4 have taken off their shoes. They are getting ready to dance. Brothers 5 and 6 and 7 are seeing stars. They are getting ready to scream. Go for it, even if it's vulgar, even if it's obscene. Do it to my rhythm and you will bloom blossoms of happiness. Blooming is opening your mouth after deep silence to whisper sweet nothings to another deep flower. Unsatisfied people figure the whole world is deaf, but shouting obscenities isn't as good as blooming. Well, blooming is giving sight and sound to the deaf and blind, and learning to get drunk. Bloom uncivilized blossoms, bloom unbearable blossoms. Bloom the abnormal and unreasonable, the illogical, like a heavy downpour on 1,000,000 square kilometers of desert. Bloom fantastical indulgence in case even fantasies bloom that would definitely be for you to bloom with abundance. Bloom till you are you are ecstatic from the valley of death, from the village of rejection, from the crevice of the city, from the central square. The central square is full of people. The alleys around the central square are full of silent cows and sheep. Go into the clouds and sunset and catch a cow or sheep, share its good intentions. Go into the dumpster and catch a pig, touch its beating heart. 3,000 pigs are wearing flowers in their bristles. See who dare take them to the slaughterhouse. 9,000 sheep leap off a cliff because the lead sheep wanted to die in the flower bed below. Bloom, said Confucius to Yan Hui. Bloom, said Liang Shanbo to Zhu Yingtai. In March, in May, in the smoke of Beijing, Shijiazhuang, Taiyuan, Kaifeng, and Luoyang, Bloom, said Ouyang Jianghe to his new girlfriend. Bloom, the countenance of a panther curled up in the shade of a tree. Bloom, the contemplations of a tiger wandering through the forest of glass, concrete, and steel. Blooming is a game of adventure. It's happiness finding the opening of the body, dark underground water finding an escape. Dogs of all sizes in 250 villages bark in unison when you bloom. You bloom, you are a brave flower, you are a brave flower, brave in your bold battles and scampering. You're a compassionate and merciful flower, compassionate and merciful in catastrophes of crumbled buildings. If you bloom, I will sit up, stand up, jump up, fly up. I will ring bells and band drums. I will breathe loudly. You can even do it without following my rhythm. Bloom into the sky. I'll climb up a ladder after you. If you bloom too high, I will build an airplane and fly after you. I want to recite what you say in your sleep. I want to witness your nipples blooming, your belly button blooming, your toes blooming. I want to smell, to engulf the boundless fragrance of your soul. I want to shout with you, joy. The joy of poles of construction sites, the joy of stinky feet in the open market. Twitching, trembling, shivering joy. Unjoyful, yet somehow still joyful. Joy dripping with fucking sweat joy. So you have to bloom to greet my garrulousness. Blooming once isn't enough. Bloom 3,000 times. Blooming 3,000 times still isn't enough. Bloom 108,000 times. Bloom 3,000 boundless universes, and stirring up and beat any beast that refuses to bloom. Bloom when ants distribute sweet like the wind distributes seas. When clouds soar in the skies distribute 10,000 tons of water like owls in darkness distributing sleep. The stars look at you and you are looking at the stars. You can't stand there twinkling like they can't stand your sumptuousness. The guy fixing computers on star 1 says, you should bloom. The kid riding an ostrich on star 2 says, you should bloom. You hear it. Someone turns on a light on the far side of the moon. On Halley's Comet, people clap their hands. The man who turned on the light finds his kaleidoscope in a cluttered drawer. The people applaud till they spot space Mandela, spinning and shining and shimmering. As you at the center of the stamen keep blooming, like someone growing another head from the top of her own head. But in case you're still reluctant, in case you're still trying to decide whether to bloom or not to bloom, then listen to me. First, stretch out 1 petal, then stretch out 2 petals, then 4 petals, 3 petals, and 5 petals are the geometry of nature. But if you want If you want to, you can stretch out 50 petals, 500,000 petals is called flourishing. Just bloom like a fool. Just bloom casually and carelessly, come for all your marvelousness bloom. Thank you.